The lake blob from Creepshow 2 emerges as a terrifying force in the segment titled The Raft, where an amorphous predator lurks beneath the calm surface of the lake. This creature, with its sinister, gelatinous form, defies conventional horror tropes by presenting an enemy that is both formless and relentless. It targets unsuspecting swimmers, turning a serene outing into a desperate fight for survival, and draws viewers into a suspenseful narrative that escalates with every attempt to escape. As the swimmers find themselves trapped on a wooden raft, the tension mounts. The blob's presence is felt through its slow, creeping advances, casting an ominous shadow over the trapped individuals. The scene unfolds with an increasing sense of claustrophobia and dread, as the lake's placid exterior belies the malevolent force beneath. The unknown depths of the water become a symbol of lurking danger, a reminder of the thin line between safety and peril. The lake blob's attack is suffocating, its dark mass moving with chilling intent. The creature's ability to devour its victims with a deliberate, unstoppable force embodies the primal fear of the unseen and the unknown. Its methodical approach creates a psychological horror that resonates with audiences, drawing them into a narrative of suspense and terror that is as gripping as it is horrifying. Ultimately, The Raft succeeds in captivating viewers with its unique blend of horror and suspense, brought to life by the menacing presence of the lake blob. This segment of Creepshow 2 remains a standout for its ability to transform a simple setting into a nightmare, where the very water that promises life and leisure becomes a vessel of death.
He won't stop tapping. Imagine being up late with your best friend, immersed in your favorite games, when an unsettling noise disrupts the night. It's 3:03 a.m., and the stillness is pierced by a faint tapping on the window, accompanied by the eerie sound of teeth clicking. Your friend dismisses it, but your paranoia won't let it go. You insist on staying alert, convinced there's more to this than a simple sound. As the night deepens, the tension between reality and fear blurs. The tapping persists, growing more insistent, and your heart races. You wake your friend, determined to confront whatever lurks outside. Suddenly, a blood-curdling shriek pierces the air, sending shivers down your spine. It's a sound that confirms your worst fears, but before you can react, the source of the terror vanishes into the night. The relief is palpable, yet the experience leaves a haunting imprint. Your paranoia, once a mere nuisance, has proven to be an instinctive shield. It saved you from an unknown threat, a mysterious entity that could have brought harm. The unsettling part is how close you came to danger, all because of a noise that might have gone unnoticed. In hindsight, your paranoia was both a blessing and a curse. It protected you but also left you wondering about the boundaries between caution and fear. The events of that night remain a chilling memory, a reminder of how sometimes, listening to that inner voice can be the difference between safety and peril.
The protagonist in the Lost Woods incident finds themselves in a perplexing scenario that blurs the lines between reality and imagination. After a seemingly ordinary walk in the woods, they awaken to a world that feels familiar yet is unmistakably altered. Their surroundings have shifted, with even the most mundane details, like their clothing, appearing foreign and unfamiliar. The people they once knew, including family and friends, seem to be living different lives, leaving the protagonist in a state of bewilderment and isolation. As they grapple with these unsettling changes, they embark on a quest to piece together the puzzle of their new existence. This journey isn't just about finding a way back home, it's a deeper exploration of identity and belonging. The protagonist stumbles upon subtle clues that hint at a deliberate transition between timelines, suggesting that their displacement might not be as accidental as it initially seemed. Each revelation brings them closer to understanding the forces at play, uncovering a narrative woven with threads of mystery and intrigue. Driven by the desire to return to their original life, the protagonist delves into the enigma surrounding their shift between realities. They encounter cryptic messages and hidden signs, each one a breadcrumb leading them through a labyrinth of possibilities. The more they uncover, the more they realize that their displacement could be linked to a larger, perhaps even sinister, plot. This realization propels them forward, sparking a determination to reclaim their life and unravel the truth behind their surreal experience. In the midst of this chaotic journey, the protagonist must confront their fears and the possibility that returning home might require making challenging decisions. As they navigate this alternate timeline, they are forced to question their perception of reality and what it means to truly belong. The story of the Lost Woods incident serves as a captivating exploration of self-discovery and the intricate dance between destiny and free will, leaving the audience pondering the boundaries of reality itself. A group of teenagers decided to play the midnight game as a dare, choosing the eerie setting of an abandoned warehouse to add to the thrill. As they prepared themselves for the unnerving ritual, Excitement and a hint of fear buzzed in the air. The rules were simple yet chilling: summon the Midnight Man and avoid him until 3:33 a.m. However, what started as an adrenaline-fueled challenge quickly spiraled into a nightmare none of them could have anticipated. The atmosphere grew tense as the game commenced, each participant nervously clutching their candles, aware that any misstep could plunge them into darkness. It was during the first round, as shadows danced ominously across the warehouse walls, that one friend mysteriously vanished. Panic set in as the remaining players called out, their voices echoing in the vast, empty space. Despite their frantic search, there was no sign of their missing companion, only an unsettling silence that seemed to mock their growing dread. Just as hope began to wane, their phones buzzed with a chilling message from an unknown number. The text read, "You should not have played," casting a sinister pall over the already terrifying situation. This cryptic warning left them paralyzed with fear, a grim reminder of the risks they had underestimated. They realized that in their quest for a thrill, they had unwittingly crossed into a realm of real danger, where the boundaries of reality and horror blurred in the dim light of the warehouse. The gravity of their actions hit them with full force, the weight of their friend's disappearance a haunting consequence of their reckless adventure. Each one of them felt the chilling presence of the Midnight Man, lurking unseen, a silent witness to their fear and regret. Left with no choice but to abandon the game and seek help, they knew that their lives would forever be marked by the terrifying lesson learned in that abandoned warehouse. The protagonist wakes up to a chilling discovery: their reflection in the mirror is no longer just a reflection but a portal to a different timeline. Each glance into the mirror reveals a slightly altered version of themselves, living a life that diverges from their own. Initially, these alternate versions seem benign, mere possibilities of what could have been. However, as the days pass, the reflections take a darker turn, morphing into sinister iterations that unsettle the protagonist. What begins as mere curiosity quickly spirals into a haunting ordeal. The reflections are not just passive images but sentient beings with a purpose of their own. They seem to grow more aware with each encounter, their eyes glinting with a mysterious intent. The protagonist becomes increasingly distressed, sensing that these alternate selves are not content with remaining behind the glass. Instead, they are plotting to cross over, to replace the protagonist in their own life, and erase the current reality. Desperate to maintain their grip on their identity, the protagonist embarks on a quest to decipher the origins of this mirror world. They delve into old books, consult with eccentric experts, and even revisit childhood memories, hoping to find a clue that might help them understand the connection between the timelines. Yet, the more they learn, the clearer it becomes that this is not just a random occurrence. Something, or someone, is orchestrating this airy dance of identities, and the stakes are higher than they ever imagined. The struggle intensifies as the protagonist battles not only the external threat of their reflections but also the internal turmoil of doubt and fear. At every turn, they are confronted with the possibility of succumbing to the darker aspects of themselves. In a climactic confrontation, they must face the ultimate decision: to accept these reflections as a part of themselves or to fight against the encroaching darkness in a bid to preserve their own reality. The creature pleads for compassion in a heartfelt revelation upon the mountains, breaking his silence to reach out to Victor. He shares a poignant story of how his innate benevolence has slowly morphed into bitterness after enduring relentless misery and rejection. The creature's existence is a stark tale of loneliness, highlighting the absence of parental love and the constant barrage of attacks from fearful humans. As he unfolds his narrative, a picture of tragic humanity emerges from beneath his terrifying exterior. The creature describes his life as a series of silent observations, particularly his watchful eye on a nearby family. His yearning for connection is palpable as he recounts his desperate attempts to interact with them. Despite his genuine intentions, these efforts only result in fear and violence, further deepening his sense of isolation. The family, oblivious to the creature's desire for companionship, reacts with instinctual terror, reinforcing the deep chasm between him and the human world. This tale from the mountains serves as a window into the creature's soul, a soul that has been battered by a world that sees only the monstrous and not the man. The rejection he faces is not just physical but emotional, driving him to the brink of despair. His plea for compassion is not just a request for understanding but a cry for acknowledgement of his suffering and the humanity that resides within him. Through the creature's story, a narrative unfolds that challenges the perception of monstrosity and humanity. It forces a reflection on the nature of empathy and the consequences of a society that judges solely on appearances. The creature's eloquence and vulnerability in this heartfelt appeal illuminate the profound impact of isolation and rejection, asking listeners to consider the depths of kindness and cruelty that exist within us all. The mountains near Geneva serve as a chilling backdrop, a testament to the haunting presence of a creation that defies its creator's control. Justin and his friends had an eerie encounter with a Ouija board that left them questioning the boundaries of the supernatural. During their session, the planchette defied expectations, refusing to spell out words or phrases. Instead, it moved in a peculiar pattern, tracing an X before swirling in endless circles. This bizarre behavior was unsettling, leading the group to interpret it as a sign of a hex or curse. Intrigued yet spooked, Justin decided to test the board again, this time with a different friend. To his amazement and growing concern, the planchette repeated the same pattern, reinforcing their suspicion of a mysterious force at play. The consistency of this pattern suggested that something beyond their understanding was manipulating the board. Later that evening, the ominous aura surrounding the Ouija board session became more tangible. As Justin drifted to sleep, he was jolted awake by the sensation of a forceful hand gripping his arm. This chilling encounter hinted at a malevolent presence, possibly summoned by their earlier interactions with the board. The experience left Justin and his friends questioning the wisdom of their actions. They realized that engaging with the unknown might have unintended consequences, especially when the rules of such mystical practices are disregarded.
College student Kyle is suddenly overwhelmed by intense cravings for raw meat, a desire so powerful that it consumes his thoughts. At first, he tries to ignore the unsettling urges, ashamed of these primal instincts that seem to have no logical explanation. Despite his efforts to maintain normalcy, the cravings persist, lurking in the corners of his mind and threatening to unravel his daily life. One night, Kyle awakens to find his hands stained with blood, a chilling discovery that sends him spiraling into confusion and fear. With no recollection of the night's events, a sense of dread washes over him as he faces the horrifying possibility that he might have done something unspeakable. Desperate for answers, he embarks on a quest to uncover the truth behind these mysterious episodes. As Kyle delves deeper into the mystery, he stumbles upon an ancient force lying dormant within him. This presence, dark and insatiable, begins to communicate with him, whispering seductive promises of power and greatness. It tempts him with visions of destruction and supremacy, urging him to embrace his newfound hunger. Faced with an existential crisis, Kyle is torn between succumbing to this dark force and fighting to retain his humanity. The battle within him rages, a struggle between the allure of unimaginable power and the fear of losing himself entirely. Now, Kyle must decide whether to resist this sinister entity or give in to its demands, risking the consequences of unleashing a force that could change everything.
I Saw My Mother in Two Places at once plunges you into a chilling experience that captures the essence of terror through its intricate storytelling. The protagonist finds themselves enveloped in a haunting environment where every corner of their dimly lit house seems to harbor secrets. Shadows twist and merge, creating a suffocating atmosphere that leaves you on the edge of your seat. As the story unfolds, the protagonist is caught in a surreal nightmare, witnessing their mother in two places simultaneously, a revelation that shakes the foundation of their reality. This eerie tale masterfully explores the disorienting fear of a fractured reality. The protagonist grapples with a growing sense of dread, questioning their sanity as they face the impossible sight. The narrative delves into the psychological turmoil of losing one's grip on reality, evoking a profound sense of isolation. Every creak of the floorboards and flicker of shadow intensifies the suspense, leaving you with a lingering unease. As the protagonist navigates this terrifying ordeal, the story paints a vivid picture of their mental state. The lines between reality and illusion blur, amplifying the horror of their predicament. The protagonist's inner turmoil is palpable, mirroring the external chaos of the shadow-filled house. Each moment is meticulously crafted to heighten the tension, drawing you deeper into the narrative's unsettling embrace. The story's conclusion leaves you pondering the nature of reality and the depths of fear. The protagonist's final confrontation with their fractured perception challenges the boundaries of what is real and imagined. This gripping tale not only immerses you in its eerie world but also leaves an indelible mark, making you question the shadows that lurk in your own surroundings.